Hey, what is up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Sherry here, and today's video is things I wish I knew before my first internship. So this video is not going to be my typical step-by-step guide. If you're looking for something like that, definitely check out my video over here that I posted last week, which is everything that you should know before an internship. Definitely do check out that video over there for a whole ton of information. Now this video is definitely more of a video of me talking to my younger self and just giving you some big sister advice. Let's just go straight into it. So my first advice is don't rush to say yes, and this applies to many facets of life, but particularly for internships is actually very important because there's only so few golden opportunities of time for you to get an internship during your university period, and you definitely want to make sure that you are as strategic as possible and really knowing why you're choosing each and every internship. So something to note is that when you say yes to a particular internship, you are effectively saying no to all other internship offers and all other potential internship offers. So when I was all the way back in year 1, I was panicking because I realized that at the end of my year 1 semester, everyone I knew, literally almost everyone I knew, had a winter internship, and I was not prepared. I did not know that people had started applying the year before, 6 months before, and I was just completely lost and starting from ground zero, and I was like, am I missing on something? Did no one tell me to apply for an internship? So I was like, okay, I need to get an internship. So I immediately started to pull up a resume together and I started to apply for random companies. And one of them actually got back to me, and it was an AI company that specialized in marketing data analytics, which is actually a very good role. However, at that time, I was actually extremely passionate about doing marketing for e-commerce, FMCG, aerospace and tech. So I was just like, I'm not so sure if I want to do this. And I went to ask my dad for advice. And I was telling my dad that I was actually very tempted to take up this role just because I had no other internship offers. Everyone had started already and I'm so late and lagging behind. So basically what my dad told me to do was to ask myself why I really wanted that internship. And I could not answer him at all because I had visited the office and it was a very awkward vibe. I did not really click with the manager nor the interviewer, and it was just a very strange process for me. And lo and behold, I decided to reject this internship offer. And right after that, not even gonna lie, right after that I actually got a lot of different kinds of offers, and they were much more suited to my interests and more aligned with my goals for my career. Really knowing my purpose on why I'm going on those internships was definitely a much stronger reason for me to select those internships over this one. So essentially, just please be selective, be thoughtful, and please take your time to think as much as possible. So this brings me down to my second tip, and this second tip is actually extremely helpful for me, and till today I definitely need to tell myself this tip, which is that as an intern, to definitely speak up because your opinion matters. For myself, I struggle every day as an intern, conflicting with myself as to whether I should give my opinion or not, especially my first few internships. Basically, when people asked me for my opinion in the past, I would basically just throw it away and just be like, no, I am not qualified for this at all. Something I later learned was that people actually genuinely want to hear your opinion, and there's a few reasons why. You're still a set of fresh eyes. So what I mean by that is that for the company, a lot of the time they are targeting people that have no idea about their service or their product, and you're basically a perfect bait. So if they show you some kind of collateral or like an asset or like a poster or something, and they ask you for your opinion, it can actually be very helpful because you can help to tell your company the things that you understood, things that you did not understand, things that can be improved, and things that should be removed altogether from the entire email. So it's definitely very important to have that set of fresh eyes. And something very important to note is that the reason why you should speak up is because your opinion is valuable. I know sometimes, especially for myself even, like I feel very underqualified, or I basically feel this kind of imposter syndrome, or I feel that my colleagues in the company have way more expertise in their own niches and fields than me, and they've been in the industry way longer than me, so they definitely know better. They have spoken to many more customers than me, so what do I know? So sometimes I definitely try to hold back as much as possible and I self-impose a line. However, what you need to know is that when someone asks you for your opinion, they genuinely want to know your opinion. It really can reflect your thinking process, your analytical process, and also your thought process behind every single thing. And it would help to gain their respect and also to help to share with them some of the insights that you definitely have to offer to the table. What you want to do is to just pick one day where you challenge yourself to speak up as much as possible in the week. And that can be in the form of in the Zoom meeting or in the boardroom where you have to raise up your hand, but just definitely start from small steps, and trust me, you'll over time gain the confidence that you will have. You'll over time realize that you have definitely a lot of value to bring to the table, and you won't see yourself as an intern, you see yourself more as a contributor to the company. So my third advice for interns is to challenge yourself to go for all work socialization events, no matter how tired you are. Okay, this is a challenge because I don't literally mean every single event, but whenever possible, definitely do challenge yourself, because every single time I felt very lazy to go for a social event at work, and I decided to go, I have never regretted. Like, I have made incredible friendships and I have gone through incredible laughs. I found out a lot of things about different people in my office, and every single time I go, I always feel so welcomed and I just have a great time. So that's definitely something I wish that you should know. And some tips I have in terms of work socialization is this. I think wherever you go, you definitely need to know the one thing that you would love to talk about, and it has to be genuine. It cannot be fabricated, but just to have that one thing you're very passionate about, and to bring it with you wherever you go as a backup conversational starter. For example, maybe you're interested in coding. Talk about your love for coding and why you love the algorithms and why you like writing code. Like, I will never understand how I can bring myself to love code, but if you can convince me, I'm more than interested to hear it out. You want to note that when you're building relationships during your internship, it's not just limited to your team, it's not just limited to your manager and your department, and it's not even limited to just your company. Definitely expand building relationships to people outside your company, especially if you're working on external projects, and especially if you're working with other clients or other contractors. I think that's a very great way to leave a lasting impact, and also they'll definitely remember who they work with. So that's an extremely important tip for you to remember, to always constantly build relationships. Reflect and write out everything that you have remembered and you have learned from your internships into a journal, and trust me, this is actually extremely invaluable, and I think that people should do journaling a lot more, not just for internships but also for classes, also for everyday life. It's actually very helpful for you to not only retain the information but also to remember it forever. Once you write it down, you basically have immortalized it. So for myself, this is the reason why I remember all the internship lessons that I have learned from my very first internship. And writing down the things I learned also helps me to keep very organized, and it's very easy to evaluate the things that I achieved or things that I wanted to achieve during my internship that I may not have achieved. I try not to be too broad and I try not to be too niche. So the way that I do that is actually to stay in the Goldilocks zone. For myself, you see that I'm doing a marketing internship at a lot of very different companies. If you niche down too much, for example, if you specialize in search engine optimization, or if you specialize in email conversion, it's very hard for you to get out of that niche, or you will have to start from ground zero again. So what I try to do is that I try to expose myself to different fields of marketing within each and every internship, so that I can get a very broad sense of what I want. So by carrying this one skill marketing around to all these different companies, I am essentially broad enough to expand my net to many different companies, but also niche enough to know that I am having my expertise in marketing. If you niche down too much, it's very hard for you to find wiggle room out. So for example, you have OCBC internship, DBS internship, blah internship, all in finance and accounting, and suddenly you want to try marketing in an FMCG company. It's very hard for you to pivot out. However, if in the beginning you actually did, for example, finance in P&G, which is an FMCG company, there's a much higher chance that you can actually convert from finance P&G to doing maybe marketing for that big company. It's a very weak link, but it's definitely a much stronger link than if you had no experience at all. So definitely when you're young, try to pivot as much as possible to find out what you like the most. So that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that this video brought you a lot of value.